Good afternoon, students. Today we will do the concept of scientific management in Unit 2 Principles of Management. What's the meaning of scientific management? It refers to that management which thinks that by scientifically analyzing work, it would be possible to find one best way to do it, or we can say discarding the traditional approaches to management and adopting newer and more scientific approaches in their place is called scientific management. This concept is given by F.W. Taylor. Now, principles of scientific management or principles given by F.W. Taylor. What are the principles of scientific management? There are 4 principles of scientific management. Number one, science note rule of thumb. Science note rule of thumb. What this principle says? This principle says that we should not get stuck in a set routine with the old techniques of doing work. Rather, we should be constantly experimenting to develop new techniques which makes the work much simpler, easier and quicker. Now, the second principle is harmony note discord. What this principle says? The principle emphasizes that there should be complete harmony between the management and the workers. This requires mental revolution on the part of both management and workers. Both management and workers should transform their thinking. Management should share gains of the company, if any, with the workers, and workers should work hard and be willing to embrace change for the good of the company. Third principle is cooperation, not individualism. According to this principle, all the activities done by different people must be carried on with a spirit of mutual cooperation. Taylor has suggested that the manager and the workers should jointly determine standards. This increases involvement and thus in turn increases responsibility. Okay, now the fourth principle is development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. What this principle says? This principle is concerned with efficiency of employees, which could be built in right from the process of employee selection. The work assigned to employees should suit their capabilities. They should be given the required training to increase their efficiency. Efficient employees would produce more and earn more. This will ensure their greatest efficiency and prosperity for both the company and the workers. So, these were the 4 principles of scientific management given by Taylor. Now there are techniques of scientific management given by Taylor. The techniques of scientific management are 9. Number 1, first is functional foremanship. What is functional foremanship? This form of organization is totally based on the principle of specialization and makes full utilization of the expertise of various experts. In a functional organization, work is divided into many small parts and each part is assigned to an expert. Okay. Or we can say it refers to that technique of scientific management which makes possible the full utilization of the principle of specialization. Taylor has suggested the division of work of factory manager into 2 sub-departments. There are two departments. First is planning department and second is production department. 4 experts are appointed in each department. The experts in the planning department do planning and the experts in the production department help in production. Now, specialists of planning department and their functions. Number 1, route clerk. This clerk specify the sequence of completing a particular work, meaning thereby the stages it shall have to pass before being finalized. Second clerk is instruction card clerk. This clerk prepares the instruction cards for the workers and hands them over to the gang boss. These cards contain information about the nature of work, procedure of doing it, material to be used, and the details about machinery. Now, third is time and cost clerk. This clerk decides as to when a particular work is to be started and finished, meaning thereby as to what time the whole work will take place. It is also decided at the same time at what cost the product will be produced. Fourth is discipline officer. The discipline officer ensures that every work is being performed in a disciplined manner. Now, specialists of production department and their functions. First is gang boss. The workers are divided into various groups from the point of view of control. A group leader is selected who is known as gang boss. He is expected to ensure that both the workers and the machines are fit enough for the production and that the material required for their use has been made available to them. Now, second is speed boss. The main function of the speed boss is to ensure that all the workers are performing their job at the required or expected speed. If it is not so, the speed boss tries to find out the cause of slow speed and hence a solution for it. Third is repair boss. The main function of the repair boss is to keep the machines and tools in working condition. Fourth is inspector. He inspects the things produced and compares their quality with the standard prescribed for them and tries to find out the difference. In case of unfavorable result, he initiates corrective action. Okay, now second technique is standardization of work. What is standardization? It refers to the process of setting standards for various business activities. Or you can say standardization means setting standards for different activities after due deliberation. For example, the amount of work to be done by a worker in a day may be standardized. In other words, the worker is expected to do the standard amount of work every day. In the same manner, standards may also be set for raw materials, machines, tools, techniques, condition of work, etc. Now, third technique is simplification. Simplification means putting an end to the unnecessary types, qualities, weights, etc. For example, it is all right for a shoe manufacturing company to manufacture shoes of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes, but if it starts manufacturing shoes of 0, 0.1, 1, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2, so and so on, it will be simply wrong. This is no justification in the difference of such sizes. In such a situation, different types of machines shall have to be installed. More stock shall have to be maintained and increased labor costs shall have to be borne. Therefore, it is advisable to manufacture shoes only of the proper sizes. In other words, simplification of the product is the answer. Or you can say about simplification, it refers to that technique which is used to put an end to unnecessary types, qualities, sizes, weights, etc. of products. Now, fourth technique is method study. What this technique says, it refers to identifying the most suitable way to do a particular activity. To conduct this study, process chart and operation research techniques are used. The main objective of this study is to find out one best way of doing the job. Fifth is motion study. It refers to a technique to study the movements those are necessary for doing a well-defined job. The movie camera is used to conduct for this study. The main objective of this study is to eliminate the unnecessary motions. For example, during an experiment, it was found that while laying a brick, a mason was conducting 18 different activities. But after eliminating the unnecessary activities, the number of activities could be reduced to 5, and in certain cases, even down to 2 activities. Now, sixth technique is time study. It refers to determining the standard time required to complete a particular activity. The standard time is determined on the basis of average time taken by the several experiences of the same work. This study is conducted with the help of a stopwatch. The main objective of the study are to get the estimated figure of labor cost, to determine the number of required workers. Now, seventh is fatigue study. It refers to determining the duration and frequency of rest intervals to complete a particular job. The rest refreshes the workers. They work again with their full capacity. The main objective of this study is to maintain the efficiency level of the workers. Now, eighth is differential piece wage system. It refers to that technique of scientific management which differentiates between efficient and inefficient worker. For example, let the standard output per day be 20 units and the two wage rates be rupees 5 per unit and rupees 4 per unit respectively. Worker A produces 20 units in a day, and in doing so he earns rupees 100. Another worker B produces 18 units only in a day, and hence he will earn rupees 75. In this way, even though B has produced only 2 units less than A, the difference in their wages will be rupees 28. As a result, less efficient workers will be motivated to work more, and efficient workers will be motivated to maintain their efficiency. Now, last is mental revolution. It refers to the change in the attitude of management and workers towards one another from competition to cooperation. Mental revolution calls for a change in the mindset of both employers and workers. As per Taylor, a revolution in mindset of both the employers and the workers is required because it will promote feeling of cooperation and will be beneficial to both the parties. Normally, it is seen that conflict between employers and workers results in division of profits, with both the parties demanding a larger share of profits. This is the main reason why a mental revolution is required. According to Taylor, instead of fighting over division of profits, both the parties should make efforts for increasing the profits. Okay. So, these were the 9 techniques of FW Taylor. Thank you.